So I rebelled from the Clean Plate Club. Here's why it was one of my best decisions. I'm Jules Clancy, and here at Joyful Eating, I share one proven actionable strategy with you each week to help you listen to your body so you become a naturally healthy person who eats what you want, but not too much, so you lose weight with ease and joy and you feel amazing in your clothes. Before we get into this week's episode, exciting announcement. I've actually just opened up some one-on-one coaching spots. So this is actually the first time I've opened up for one-on-one coaching since 2002. And these are just like a strategy session. It's 45 minutes. If that sounds interesting, either listen on to the end for more details, or if you check out the link in the show notes, you'll be able to learn more there. Okay, so our plan for today is first of all, I'll share what happened when I rebelled from the Clean Plate Club, why the Clean Plate Club keeps us stuck, how to rebel, my controversial truth about exposing the Clean Plate Club. And I've got a couple of bonus tips for you as well. And then we'll finish up with that invitation around one-on-one coaching. So what happened when I rebelled from the Clean Plate Club? So I was raised in a family where you had to finish your plate. Children were starving in Africa, and that meant that I had to eat all my peas. And so that was drummed into me from childhood. And anyway, so fast forward 5 years later, so I was just automatically used to clean my plate. And then what happened was when I did some work with a coach and learned how to listen to my body, of course, one of the first things we were doing was leaving food on the plate. And what happened when I did that, when I started leaving food on the plate, all my struggles with food melted away. Like, seriously, because previously, if I'd overeaten or snacked too much when I was cooking, I would still finish my plate at dinner time, which meant I ate way more food than I needed. And that just perpetuated this struggle. Whereas when I started to actually give myself permission to leave food behind, that changed everything. So why does the Clean Plate Club keep us stuck? So basically, it perpetuates us ignoring our bodies and overeating. So rather than listening to our bodies and eating the right amount of food that we need on that day, we're outsourcing the decision to either someone else in a restaurant who's putting food on our plate or to ourselves. And I know for me, when I'm serving myself out food, I'm hungry. And so I often put more food on my plate than I actually need. But and as I'm going through and eating it, when I'm listening to my body, I'm like, oh, actually, this is enough. I don't need this much. So yeah, so that's why the Clean Plate Club keeps us stuck, because it just perpetuates this cycle of overeating. So how do we go about rebelling from the Clean Plate Club? Like most things, it starts with the decision. So just deciding to do an experiment. You don't have to decide that you're going to give up forever, but just decide to take a break from the Clean Plate Club and see how it feels. And you can approach this from either one of two ways. One could be that you just set the intention to leave bites behind every time you're eating. So whether that's one bite or half the plate, it doesn't matter, but just getting into that habit of leaving something. Or the other option is, if that really does freak you out and you really do love your clean plate, then I invite you to experiment with serving yourself less than you think you're actually going to need, with the vision in the back of your mind that if it's not enough food, this smaller portion, that you go back and get more. That's it. And then the second part of you rebelling from the Clean Plate Club is to do some work around your mindset, because so many people see leaving food behind as this food waste thing, which is really bad. And we don't want to be these evil people who are wasting food. I get where that comes from. And on the surface, yeah, that, of course, I don't want to waste food either. But my thought that I have around this instead is that either my body's not a rubbish bin, so every time I overeat, I'm actually wasting food. It's just as wasteful as if I'm throwing it in the bin. Or the other way, that one of my clients, her thought was, well, I'd rather throw it in the bin than throw it on my body, because if it's more food than my body needs, it means it's going to get stored as fat. And I don't want that. So one of those thoughts can be really helpful. I really like that thought. Like every time I overeat, it's actually perpetuating food waste, because it means that I'm in a bigger body than I need to be. And it means that I'm going to eat more in the future. Which brings me to the controversial truth about being overweight and obese. And this is coming from, I'm not trying to shame anyone who is in that category, but just I think it's important to realize that the bigger body you are in, the more energy is required or more food is required just to keep you alive. So if you're at a healthy weight, the average person needs about 1,750 calories to stay alive. Whereas when you're obese, just to stay alive, you need 22,400. So not double, but a significant amount more. And so that's just something to think about. And actually, I did some research on this with Claude, so it was not being verified by anyone. But if all the people in the world, just an interesting thought experiment, if all the people in the world went from eating what they're currently eating to being at a healthy weight and only eating whatever they need to stay at their healthy weight, we would actually be able to feed an extra like 520 million people. And I think at the moment there's 700 million people facing hunger in the world. So almost all of the hungry people in the world could be fed if we all lost weight. So just an interesting thought experiment of food waste thing. Is it really true? And how much we have to gain, not just from ourselves and feeling peaceful and easy around food, but as a planet as well, our ability to feed ourselves, it would be vastly improved if we all started rebelling from the Clean Plate Club. Okay, and I've got a couple of bonus tips for you. So, one thought, because if you're someone who has I'll save the best bites for last, that of course, when you're like you don't want to leave the best bites. So, I encourage you, if you're a best bites last person, to start experimenting with having best bites first or best bites earlier on in the meal rather than leaving them to last. And the other thing my other bonus tip for you is just because you're not eating food at that meal doesn't mean that it has to go into the compost or into the rubbish bin. So I often, most meals actually, at the end of the meal, I've got something left over and I just keep what I call my random bites jar. So it'll be a container in the fridge. And if there's half a poached egg, it'll go in the container. And I've got one at the moment that's going to be my lunch. And actually, doing this, I have had whole meals that have just come from random bites that I've left behind over the previous few days. So if the thought of random food in the fridge freaks you out, of course you can throw it out. But I actually really love, I'll be like, oh, that was that meatball. It was delicious. I had that for lunch yesterday. It actually is quite good fun. But you don't have to throw the food out. And sometimes if it's lunch, I'll just put my bowl back in the fridge, and then when it's dinner time I'll pull that out and have it as extra food with my dinner. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go about leaving bites behind without necessarily having to throw them out. So my best bite I had this week, I had to think really hard. It was actually lunch on Saturday. So I cooked some broccoli in the microwave, which is my new favorite thing, which I kind of can't believe. And then served it with poached eggs from my neighbor Adela. Well, she didn't poach them, I poached them, but the eggs were from her chickens. And then drizzled over some mayonnaise and nutritional yeast over the top, and then had an aged Gouda cheese on the side. And it was so good. Lots of black pepper. It's so mad. Poached eggs and broccoli just can be so delicious. There's no need to go and eat junk food when food like that tastes so good. Okay. So that's it for this week. So your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to start experimenting with rebelling from the Clean Plate Club, just doing that experiment, coaching yourself, remembering I'd rather throw it out than throw it on my body. And my invitation for you is, if you've been going around in circles with food and weight, trying things, getting somewhere, ending up back at square one, I want you to know it's not a you problem. It's a clarity problem and a strategy problem. And I can fix that in 45 minutes. So I'm offering a limited number of one-on-one clarity calls where we get on Zoom together, just the two of us, and figure out exactly where you want to get to, what's actually keeping you stuck, and map out a simple personalized plan to get you where you want to go with ease and joy without any restriction or willpower. You'll just get a clear roadmap built entirely around you and your life. So right now it's available as an introduction price of $199 for the session, which is actually almost half the full price, but that won't last. So if you're ready to stop searching and feeling lost and start knowing exactly what to do with a clear plan, click on the link in the show notes and you'll be able to grab your spot. I would love to work with you and meet you on Zoom sometime. Okay, have a beautiful week and I'll catch you next week.